Hello, welcome to Verbling. My name is Hamish, and welcome to this our second hour today of preparation for the speaking section of the TOEFL exam. In this hour, we're going to concentrate on question 2 questions, and these questions require the student absolutely to make a very clear choice between two options, and that might be, well, do you like to read books or watch movies? Do you like to eat out, or do you like to eat at home? Do you like to study in the morning, or do you like to study at night? And in the TOEFL exam, they are very much looking for a clear choice. So if the question is, would you prefer reading a book or watching a movie? Well, of course, perhaps in real life we like both, but we need to make a very clear preference. We need to choose a favorite, and that task, this question 2 task, is very much about us choosing one and explaining why. Okay, so hey, these first 2 minutes are for Verbling Premium users. If you want to make a reservation and guarantee your spot at this class, please go ahead and do so. Otherwise, after those first 2 minutes are over, that join class button will hopefully turn green, and you can join me here in class. First of all, as always, let me add the web link to the official TOEFL website to our Verbling chat. That's a great place to get good, authoritative, true information about the TOEFL exam. There's no shortage to free information on the website, but on the internet. But I'd absolutely recommend that you look at the ETS website for the most accurate information about where and when and how and why and how much and the application process for the TOEFL exam. There's some really good and I think very clear advice on that ETS website. The TOEFL exam is a very long and a very difficult exam, a very challenging exam. But often, if you want to go and continue your studies and continue your studies abroad in English-speaking country or English-speaking school or university, you're going to need that TOEFL score. So it's challenging, but it's not impossible. And the more correct practice we have, the more correctly we prepare for an exam like this, the bigger an opportunity we're going to have to be successful. So hey, I'm glad to see some students in my classroom. Let me say hello to everybody, and then we'll get started. Okay, here we go. Let me say hello first of all to Carlos. Hello again, Carlos.
Hi, Hamish.
How are you?
Hi. Fine, very well, very well. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear.
It's a great day in the week.
It is.
Yeah.
And tell me, what are your plans for the weekend?
Maybe unfortunately, I must study for my exams. Two weeks in the next 2 weeks, and maybe I go out to write some time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I can find a good study question for you here in our TOEFL practice. Half of the questions, and good to see you back in class, Carlos. Thanks for joining us. Half of the questions in this question 2 part of the speaking section, half of them will just be about personal things, so books or movie, eating out, eating in. But but the other half of the questions will be about how we like to study, how we like to learn, things like that. Because most of the people taking this TOEFL exam, they need to show that they're ready to speak English in academic, in educational situations, so that they're ready to answer a question in class, or that they're ready to have a conversation in English with an advisor, or that they're able to sort out problems like parking spaces and somewhere to live when they're at an American college or university. So there are questions about the more academic side in terms of study habits, as well as questions that are just more everyday, like the choices about where we like to eat, what we like to do in our spare time, things like that. So I think I'd like to practice some of those academic questions as well with you today. Let me say hello also to Giovanni. Hello, Giovanni.
Hi, Pierre. Hi.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm feeling good, and the weather is fantastic in Italy, and I would like to, I don't know, to study outside and study English outside. This is my first desire for today, but I'm here, and it's my first time with you, and I'm glad to join your class. Okay.
I'm glad you're here, and you're very welcome to join us in class. I wish we were outside as well. That would be fun. That would be fun. Yeah, but I think the weather in this classroom is pretty good. So
yes. I think that we can create a good atmosphere in this class. Yes.
absolutely right. I appreciate that. Thank you, Giovanni. I hope we can do that. I'm sure we can as well. Great to see you in class, and is welcome to these TOEFL speaking classes. I look forward to hearing your practice as well.
Okay.
Let me say hello and welcome back to Heba. Hello again, Heba.
Hello.
It's good to have you back in class. Thanks for joining us for this second hour. No problem at all. Let me say hello to is Furkan? Is that do I?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Furkan, tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Turkey.
Turkey. Okay, very good. Great to see you in class. Tell me, Furkan, what are your plans for the weekend?
For this weekend, probably I'm going to study for TOEFL because I'm going to take TOEFL in June. And this Sunday I'm going back to Istanbul.
Ah, okay. And are you visiting family or friends? What are you doing in Istanbul?
No. Actually, I have something to do with there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And I have to tell you, Furkan, if we don't want to tell someone what we're going to do, we have a nice English expression. We get to say, I'm going to see a man about a dog. Okay. So if everybody, so we'll just put that in there. And that tends to be a very clear signal that it's like, that's none of your business. So we're just going to put it right there. It's a fun expression, a fun British English expression. If we said that to an American, they would ask, well, what kind of dog? What kind of dog is it? And that would get very confusing. So we don't use that in the United States, but it's a good British one to use. So good to have you in class, Furkan. Thank you for joining us. Let me say hello also to Man. Hello, Man.
Hello, sir. How are you today?
I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Tell me, are you going to be taking the TOEFL exam? Are you studying or are you working at the moment?
No, I just want to. I'm learning English to can speak English in with a native speaker conversation. I just want to fluent in English. Yes.
Okay. Well, it's great to have you in class. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
Let me say hello and welcome back to Marta. Hello, Marta.
Hello, teacher.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
And tell me, how's the weather with you?
It's sunny. It's a perfect day.
Wow.
And, it's spring already.
It is. I have to say, I got news from my mother-in-law today. She lives up in Minnesota, and they had some very warm days in the 80s. Beautiful spring days, and now she wakes up to 5 inches of snow. So it's difficult in Minnesota. It seems not so in Tennessee. Always nice weather in Tennessee. I'm glad it's nice weather with you, Marta, as well. Thank you for joining us. Good to see you back in class. Let me say hello to Mohammed. Hello, Mohammed.
How are you, teacher?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good to have you back in class. Thank you for joining us today. Talita, thank you for joining us in this second hour. I hope all is well with you still.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. And I have to say, everybody, that no cats in this room at this point. No, this is a good thing. It's a good thing. They should be out there. So I guess the cat won. I threw her out, so well done, cat. She is smarter than I. It's true, much smarter than I am. Always gets her way. Last of all, oh, now I still can't say your name because it's in the server link. So if you want to join us, can you see that on the screen? Anyone know how to say that name? I'd be interested. No, no. Okay, I'm gonna take you out. Okay, and if you want to join us, because I want to make room for everyone who's in the classroom. Okay, there we go. All right. Hey, let's get started. I'll try not to freeze in a strange way in this class either. Okay, so we're going to take a look at an example question. Okay, and just to give you an idea of what these question 2 questions look like, let's find one. Absolutely. Ah, yes. Okay, so let's take a look at this one together. I'm going to put it in our verbally chat box right now, and I'm going to read it out to you just for fun. Some people prefer to live in a small town. Others prefer to live in a big city. Which place would you prefer to live in? Okay, so that's very much the structure of these question 2 questions. They're going to give you a choice, and then they are going to ask you to make that choice, right? So if we have a question like that, and the headline is, you know, small town, big city, which one? Which one? We have to choose. We have to choose, and we have to stick with that answer as well. So, you know, if I prefer to live in a big city, well, I'm going to say that. I'll say, oh, well, I much prefer to live in a big city, and I'm going to tell them why as well. So I'm going to give them 2 or 3 clear reasons. If we choose big city, if that's our answer, what sort of things can we talk about? What sort of examples can we give to say why it's better for us to live in a big city? What does everyone think?
For example, you can start by saying I'm a young person, so I'm maybe active than other people, and I want to see many things in the big cities. Also, the opportunities in the big cities are important for me as a student.
Great.
Sort of things.
Very nice. So, maybe, and these are our personal opinions. If we give an example, if we give a good description, no one is going, the examiner, they won't disagree. They won't say, oh, we're wrong, because there are opinions. We need to back them up and explain why, but it's not about right or wrong. It's simply about giving a good, clear answer. So absolutely, let's say more opportunities. Yeah, I just spelled that right. There we go. More opportunities in the big city, better. Absolutely. So there are 2 clear things we could talk about, and more opportunities. Of course, we can talk about education, about work. So great to give those details. What are those opportunities? I mean, of course, it might be opportunities to have a good time. It might be more variety of entertainment, of eating out, of drinking, of dancing, whatever it is you like to do. There might be more of those things. And of course, well, the list of things we could talk about with a big city or a small town are really almost infinite. What about if we choose, because we could choose small town as well. It doesn't, there's no right answer. There's just a right way to give the details and give a clear response. So if we choose small town, what kinds of things can we say to explain why we prefer to live in a small town? What sort of examples can we give?
All right.
Giovanni, yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Talking about to live in a small town, I can say that to live in a small town is better than. Okay, this is just my opinion. It's better than live in a huge, large city, because you can live your life without traffic, without any kind of noises, and in a very relaxing way, and but you can find there even a lot of opportunities in order to live better your life, and I think it's not so important I don't know, to find a theater or a huge cinema, or because even in a small time you can find a lot of entertainment there, and talking about life in general.
Okay,
But
Giovanni. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, no. This is my humble opinion. Okay.
And humble opinion. That's all we're looking for. Is our own personal opinion. We're not. I mean, with all of these questions, but for these question 2 questions, and by the way, for question 1 as well, that we looked at in the previous class, we don't need to be an expert in any of these subjects, and we're not trying to provide the truth or be an authority. It's just about what we think. And the most important thing for us with these answers is we make a clear choice between option 1 and option 2, in this example between small town and big city, and then we absolutely have to explain why. So in terms of, there's no correct answer with any of these, right? It's, we don't get more points for big city over small town, not at all. But we do need to explain why, and those reasons, of course, can be can be reasons that are personal to us, absolutely. So all of this is going to be in our opinion, and that's what the examiner is looking for. This is a test of our ability to speak in English, of course, but also to give our own personal opinion, and not to worry about what everyone else thinks. So as long as we explain why, that will help us give a strong answer, right? So there's our example question, and we can see already there are a lot of things, a lot of examples, a lot of details that we can give. Let's look at some more questions, and let's give each of us an opportunity to practice these questions. Remind me, how much time do we get to prepare our answer in this question?
15 seconds to prepare your answer and 45 seconds to answer.
Thank you very much. Let me put that in the box so we don't forget. To prepare.
Is this the second section?
This is it's question 2, so it's the speaking section of the TOEFL exam, and so question 1 is personal questions, asking for a preference or a favorite, or something we like to do. And question 2, again, it's still that you have to make that choice. So they're going to give you 2 things, and we need to say, well, which one do we prefer, which one do we like the most or do the most, and then explain why. So we need to give that direct answer the question, and we have to choose one. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there we go. So let me take a look at my question list. I want to find a good select. And again, I want to mix it up in this class. So some of these questions will just be personal things. Others will be more specifically about the way that we learn or the way that we study, because the TOEFL exam is full of questions about how we study, because most of the people taking the exam, they want to study. That's the main reason for most people doing these things. Let me choose one right here, and actually I've changed my mind. I'm going to do something different. All right, here we go. I'll take this question, and yes, this is a studenty question. Let me go first of all to Carlos. Carlos, are you ready to practice with us?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Great stuff. I'm going to put this question in the chat box. Please, everybody, when you see that question, take your 15 seconds and think, well, which one do I choose? What's my choice? And what are my examples? How do I explain why about my choice? Okay. I'll give Carlos 15 seconds to prepare and then 45 seconds to speak. Here's the question right here. And Carlos, your question: some people like to listen to music while they're studying. Others prefer a very quiet atmosphere for their study. Which do you prefer? And Carlos, I'll give you 15 seconds to prepare your answer. Your 15 seconds begin right now.
Okay. I think, in my opinion, it depends on the moment. I prefer to study with music, because there are some tasks that don't need don't need to concentrate in that, and in other moments I prefer to be in silent and to be quiet to that to concentrate in my tasks. Okay.
So if you know, say you only had one choice, Carlos.
One choice, okay.
So if you had to choose one, and this it would be music or no music, no, it doesn't matter what you're studying. You have to decide. Okay, a quiet room or a room with the music of your choice.
Yeah.
Which one would you prefer?
I prefer a study with music. I think it's more comfortable, or it's more it's better because usually you do something you do work that it's better to listen music because it's more funny, more fun. It's funnier, okay, and it helps you to do your tasks. I think.
Excuse me. Okay, Carlos, thank you for that. And I give you that follow-up question because we just have to make a choice. If we ask this question to someone, if we ask a friend, or we're in a cafe or a restaurant, we're getting to know someone, and you're a student. You know, do you listen to music while you're studying? Well, it's easy, of course, for us to say. It would be normal and natural and understandable for us to say, well, it depends. It depends what I'm studying. If I need to really concentrate, maybe I don't use the music. If it's more of a general study, well, then I like music because it just, as you say, it makes it more enjoyable. It makes it easier for me to focus, maybe. We can't give an answer like that in the TOEFL exam because our task is to say which one do we prefer. So we are going to choose one, either music or not music, and then we're going to explain why we're making that one choice. So I know sometimes it can be a little artificial to answer questions in that way, but it's absolutely what the TOEFL examiner is listening for. He or she is waiting for you to choose one of these things and explain why you like that one thing. With 45 seconds to give your answer, there's not enough time to say, well, you know, here are the reasons why I like listening to music when I'm studying, and also there are situations where I need it to be completely quiet when I'm studying. First of all, we don't have the time to do that, but also that won't be addressing the task. Our job in these questions is to pick one and talk about that, okay? We don't need to give a balanced answer. We don't need to talk about the good and bad of both things. We just need to back up our answers. Say, okay, well, I'm choosing this one. Oh, and here's why. Here are 2 or 3 reasons why, with examples and a good description. So I know you're working hard. When I gave you that follow-up question, Carlos, you're working hard to explain why the music can be helpful, why it can help us study, and these are the things that of course we're listening for as well. Is, you know, okay, also more enjoyable? Does it help us concentrate? Does it help us focus? Does it help the time go more quickly? There are a few things we could talk about to say why it's nice to have music. Of course, sometimes it helps because it drowns out, it stops us hearing other noises like traffic or the neighbors or other students scribbling away. Yeah, and that as well, absolutely. All right, Carlos, thank you for the practice, though. I think that was a good first example. Thank you for that. Let me go to Giovanni. Giovanni, are you ready to practice with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent.
And yes, even though I'm not a student anymore, I think that I would prefer a quiet atmosphere instead of a lot of music.
Oh, absolutely. And Giovanni, that'd be much too easy for me to give you the same question. I'm going to give you a different question, okay?
Oh, which kind? Which kind of question?
It's still a question to question, but I'm going to give each of you a different question because hey, if you had 5 minutes to think about this, you could give me a fantastic answer. But in the TOEFL exam, 15 seconds. So Giovanni, let me show you your question, okay? I'm going to put this in the chat box. Here we go. So some of these are about studying, but not all of them. And this one is actually about something a little different, okay? So there's the question. Giovanni, your question. Would you prefer to run your own private business or work for a large company with many employees? I'm giving you 15 seconds to prepare your answer. So take those 15 seconds, have a think about it, and then I'll tell you when it's time, okay? Your 15 seconds begin now.
Okay.
You want to go? Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, I can go. I prefer to work in a large company with many employees because I think I can improve my working skills with only by sharing my work with others, and because I think that the big company might offer me a great deal of opportunities in order to increase my career, and at last but not least, I can use my English. I can have the opportunities to use my language skills. I don't know, to use my English to communicate with others. I think so. That's why okay.
Yeah, thanks, Giovanni. An interesting answer, and I think for a lot of people this is quite a difficult question to answer. But I really excuse me. I liked your. I need a glass of water. I liked your response, Giovanni, and I like it had a very clear structure to it, and I think a good example for our class because very important to give that straight, direct answer, make that choice right at the start, and that's what you did. You know, I prefer to work for a large company. So immediately in those first 5 seconds, you know, out of 45, we know, okay, right, so we're going for a large company, and our ears are ready. We're thinking, okay, well now let's hear why. And yes, you give us those pretty clear reasons. We've got number 1, improving skills by working with others. Okay. Number 2, the large companies offering you more opportunities. It's a little bit like number 1. If we maybe give some detail about what those opportunities might be, that would be a great detail to add. But still, it's still a clear second example. And number 3, you give us a third example as a third reason as well, which is great. If we have the time to do that, go for it. Give that third reason as well. And you talk about that again, an opportunity with a large company working with lots of people to use your language skills, and also I expect to improve language skills as well. So 3 good reasons and 3 clear reasons. And you talked about you used last but not least, which is a great way to a very clear signal to the English ears to think, okay, so he's got one more example, and it's got a sort of an equal weighting. So a very nice, a very natural way to structure your answer. So I was really happy to hear that you know, direct answer, reason 1, 2, 3, and a clear ending to it as well. So hey, very nice answer, I thought, Giovanni. Thank you for that. Yeah. All right, let me carry on and say hello to. Yes, Furkan, are you happy to practice with us?
Of course.
All right. Excellent. I know you're focused on the TOEFL, so let me see what we have here. Okay, I love this question, so we're going to practice this one. So I'll give this question to Furkan. Please, everybody here, take those 15 seconds to think, well, which one do I choose? And why? How do I explain why I make this choice? Okay, so I'll ask Furkan to give me his answer, but please, everybody, use those 15 seconds because that practice in preparing your answer, it's really, really helpful. Okay, so Here's the question for Kat. Yes, you're one. Would you prefer to go on a long trip by car or by train? Explain with reasons and examples. Furkan, I'm giving you 15 seconds to prepare your answer. Your 15 seconds begin now. Okay, Furkan, please begin your answer now.
Okay. I would prefer to go on a long trip by a car. Definitely will be a car. Because when you're driving a car, you can easily stop in whenever you want, or wherever you want. But when you're traveling by a train, you don't have that opportunity. In just some stations, you'll be able to stop, and those stations wouldn't be great to see those places. And I remember that when I was traveling with my family, we always chose car as a vehicle for our travel, and by using car, we always stopped in different places to see those places which anyone else haven't seen. Those places like uncharted locations, maybe I can say that, or another different coast that nobody ever seen. And it's really fantastic for me, and train doesn't allow you to do that. That would be my answer.
Okay, thank you. An interesting answer. I enjoyed listening to that. Let's see, your first reason, Furkan, was and really the biggest reason that you talk about is that ability to stop the car. You start your question with again, great to hear that very clear choice. You're saying, well, okay, well, I prefer to do this by car. So important to do that, so the examiner's like, okay, he's chosen car. Let's see here those car reasons. The biggest reason you talk about is that flexibility, that ability to stop wherever you want. You gave some nice details about a family experience of doing that, and also of stopping in I think uncharted territory is kind of a nice way of putting it, but also unusual locations perhaps, or places. I think a natural English way would be to talk about places that are off the beaten track. Okay, that sense of there aren't many other people who are stopping here. We can make a choice to stop somewhere interesting, or somewhere unusual, or just a place we haven't been to before, so we can make that more interesting. I think that's a great reason, absolutely. And you give some good detail. You also talk about the problems with taking a train, and you spend some time talking about, well, it's with a train you can't do that. I would encourage you when you practice questions like this to just really focus on the positive, as in what is good about the car. Because if we say well, we can stop wherever we want with the car, well, the listener can infer that, okay, well, with a train you can't do that. So I think we don't need to say so much about the train. And again, we have 45 seconds. So if we focus on the car, that gives us the time to talk about, well, reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. So, Furkan, you gave a strong first reason, and I like the family details, and I love the examples and the details. But if we sort of ignore the train side of things, then we have room, we have time to give another reason why it would be good to talk about the car. Furkan, while we're here, what do you think if you had to give a second reason for traveling, for using a car for a long journey, what do you think your second reason might be?
Maybe convenience, like going anywhere that you want. You can suddenly change your plans.
Nice, yeah. Mm-hmm. I like that one. I like that one a lot. And I think if we take the time to think about the benefits of cars and trains, it's of course in our native language very easy to think, because we have that experience. I'm sure most of us have been in a car, most of us have been in a train, so we can think about the benefits and the disadvantages of each of those modes of transport. And so it's just really a case of practicing, organizing those thoughts in a short amount of time. This isn't easy. It is a difficult exam. We only have 15 seconds. But the more practice we get with a variety of questions, practicing with that short time pressure, the better we're going to get at giving a 2 or 3 reason answer. So a nice answer for Can. I would encourage you to practice that one again sometime and think, what are the second or third reasons I would give, and that's going to be a really good answer for you. So thank you for practicing with us. A good example for our class. Yeah. All right. Let me go now to Talita. Talita, are you ready to practice with us?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Here's your question, and again, 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to speak. There we go. I'm going to read that out as well. Which kind of job would you prefer? A job that is uninteresting but has a high salary, or a job you really enjoy with a moderate salary? Please take 15 seconds to prepare your answer. Your 15 seconds begin now. Okay, Talita, please begin your answer now.
Sorry, I unmuted my microphone.
Okay, good.
Okay, I think I enjoy a job that I really enjoy and with a moderate salary. That's because I choose veterinary. And here in Brazil, veterinary is not so, I don't know the word, but we don't have an opportunity to express our talent. People say, oh, you do veterinary. Oh, okay, that's because you don't pass in the exam for medicine, And I think I really, I don't know how to explain this. I think it's a hard question. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's focus on that. I mean, you give, first of all, you start with a very clear choice. Again, I always want students to begin with I'm choosing this one, and again, that lets the examiner think, okay, ready for those examples. Why? And you give a clear choice, and also you give some interesting background, and you talk about your own occupation, and those are good details to give if we can squeeze them into our 45 seconds. Let's see. I know you were wondering about the vocabulary, about how to talk about a job that is not. There's a good expression in English, and we could use many jobs. We could talk about primary or elementary school teachers. In the UK, we would use this to describe nurses, and we would say they don't get the respect. They don't get the respect they deserve, and so we can talk about a range. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah, and of course, so if we're very passionate about a particular job, sometimes, of course, we'll do that job despite or in spite of the lack of respect that it gets.
Yeah. Once I told you that I want to work with marine mammals, and this area, it's not get the respect that we deserve. But I really enjoy this kind of area, so that's why I want to work.
No, absolutely.
And
yeah.
We have moderate salaries as well.
Okay, me too. I love moderate salaries. It's much more relaxing than a high salary, I'm sure. So and you give, if we answer this question with, if we can talk enthusiastically or with passion, with a positive sense job that we're choosing, well, that is the first reason, of course. The first reason is that you know, we're passionate about it, or we want to have a job that we're good at. I think in your example, we could definitely talk about doing a job that makes a difference, either because you can see that difference, or you know ultimately that good things will happen. And that's the reason, of course, a lot of people choose jobs that might not be as well paid. But when I think of teaching and nursing, or childcare, or looking after older people, of course looking after animals, these are jobs where if you do that job, you can see instantly, most of the time, you can see the effect your work is having. So that seems to me like a really good, strong reason if you're making that. If you're making the moderate salary, interesting job choice. We could also talk about you know, the opportunities for improvement, for training. Maybe the people we know will be working with similar, like-minded people as well. Things like that. So definitely a lot of good things to talk about. And I would encourage you, Talita, to practice and to think about the reasons why, and to think about and to find the vocabulary to express this. Just because it seems like something that you would very commonly want to talk about in English, because it's about, why do I do the job that I do? You know, what are the reasons why I'm in this business? Yeah. So I think that would be really helpful for you to have a good confidence and a good range of words to use talking about that.
Do you have this word in English? I put in the verbal in chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I want to say.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge. Knowledge. It's an article, not attached by knowledge. It's just knowledge. I think like this.
Oh well, we have two words, and then the knowledge is that sense of, you know, you have the information or the wisdom, or the experience, and acknowledge is to be noticed, really.
Yes. Yes.
And again, that's part of that sense of being respected in a business, for example, or being you know, perhaps your achievements as a parent or a friend or a wife or a husband, to be acknowledged is to say, you know, for example, maybe you do the laundry, and your partner comes home and says, oh thanks for doing the laundry, and we can say, I was acknowledged, my work was acknowledged there. So it could be something very day to day, or it could be something much more significant, and it could be the career that you've chosen, the job that you've chosen as well, or maybe an accomplishment in education. You know, if you get your university degree, and someone is, you know, you put the degree on the wall, the certificate, so people can acknowledge, they can notice that you have that achievement. So yeah, a great word, by the way. I like that one. All right, let me go, and thank you, Talita, for practicing with us as well. Marta, yes, Marta, are you ready to practice with us?
Yes, sure.
Excellent. Let me find a question for you. Okay, I know I've used this question before, but I love it, so I want to practice it again. It's a great question, I think. Let me put this one in the chat box for you. Marta, here we go. Yes, here's your question. Again, 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to practice. Do you prefer friends who are intelligent or friends who are reliable? You've got 15 seconds to prepare. Let me give you those 15 seconds right now.
Reliable.
Okay, Marta, please begin your answer now.
Okay. I would prefer friends who are both intelligent and reliable, but if I must choose, I would choose friends who are reliable, because too often people get disappointed by unreliable friends. So I think that if you can tell a secret and your friend is a reliable person, you feel you feel safe. Otherwise, if your friend is only intelligent, you cannot I don't know, exchange you cannot have a sane relationship, a healthy relationship with such friends.
Okay, thanks for that answer. Marta, I have to ask you, when you see that question, is that a more difficult question or an easier question? If we think about the examples in this class, what do you think for you?
I don't. Can you repeat?
Yeah, sure. If we think about the other questions, we've had the other examples we've seen in this class, like the job question, the interesting. Do you want to go by car or train? Do you like to study with music or without music? Do you think this question is more difficult for you, or is it easier for you?
No, it is more difficult because it involves reasoning, more complex reasoning. Whereas the other two questions were only about your personal opinion. Well, these two to a certain extent, but I think that this one could involve something more.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I think that word reliable, it's a little difficult to explain, why we like our friends. Really, that's a little harder, I think. So I liked your answers though. You talked about that sense of you're not going to be disappointed, and of course you also talked and you concentrated on this idea if you tell someone a secret, that reliable person, well, they're not going to give away that secret, so you can feel safer or more secure. Whereas well, who knows what that intelligent person, the intelligent unreliable person, who knows what they're going to do with that secret? Probably best not to tell them. So that I think that's a really good example. The examiner they'll be listening for more examples and maybe some more details as well. So I would absolutely encourage you, and I would encourage everybody to practice and think about a question like this, because I think that's a pretty difficult one to get just like that. Of course, if the more questions we practice with, the less likely we're going to be surprised in the TOEFL exams. So I think that's a really good one to practice, because even if we have that question in our native language, I know if I see that question, I think, I feel like I need more than 15 seconds to come up with 2 or 3 clear answers. So I think that one's a little bit more difficult. Of course, we can't predict which questions we're going to get. So if we practice with a wide variety, that's really going to help us feel more confident and more calm as well in the exam. Yes, I like the details about telling a secret. I also thought, Marta, I think it's okay if at the start you said, well, I like both kinds, but if I have to make a choice, then I think that's okay. If you have the time, 3 or 4 seconds to make that first point and then answer the question, I think you can get away with that. Yeah. And I understand why you say it as well. Most of us, we don't really, when we're making friends, we don't think, intelligent, reliable, which one am I going to go for here? So the question is a little artificial, I think, but an interesting one. And I thought you gave an interesting answer as well. So thank you for that, Marta. I appreciate it.
Sorry, teacher. And I've just thought that a reliable person is someone that you can count on.
That's a perfect synonym, a perfect way to give another explanation of reliable. Absolutely, yeah. Someone we can count on, someone we can trust, and I think you talked about someone who is unreliable. Well, they're going to disappoint us. They're going to let us down. So yes, absolutely. No, I think from your answer, I felt you had a very clear understanding of what reliable meant. And I think if we give other examples, the telling them a secret one, great example. If we think of other maybe more day-to-day examples, like, if the reliable person says they're going to give us a ride or pick us up from somewhere, we know they're going to do that. We know they're not going to be late. Yeah, so maybe something like that. Or if they say they're going to, pick up some milk on the way home, we can rely on them to do that. So there could be, examples like that. We could use some sort of very ordinary day-to-day examples. Yeah, but a good answer, Marta. Thank you for practicing. That was a good one. Let me go to Hanan. Hanan, are you ready to practice with us?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, very good. I'm glad you're here today with us. Thank you for joining this class.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Here's a question again. I'm putting it in the chat box. I'm going to read it out, and you can read it for yourself. I'll give Hanan 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to practice. Here we go. And this is just to practice, so we can make mistakes. We can do whatever we want. As long as you try, that's all I ask.
Okay.
All right. Oh.
Sounds and examples.
Sorry about that last part. I've got too much of my question there. It starts at 11, okay? Some people like to stick to tasks they know they can do well. Others like to try new things and take risks. Which do you prefer? And then I'm going to give you 15 seconds to prepare your answer. Your 15 seconds begin now.
I'm ready to answer.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I prefer to try new things and take risks because in my personality I love new things. I love adventures, and I love change all things against routine and others, and not to be I think I want to say that I like to increase my skills, or to focus on in my new things. Even I can't, I try to reach realize new things, such as in my field I'm architect. I'm against bad buildings or something like this. I read more and more to why not to be pioneer of invent something new, That's why I don't. I'm against the normal, or I don't know if you understand me or not, because I think it's a hard question for me. That's all. I don't hear you, teacher.
So sorry, there I am. My mistake. I wanted to say I thought you gave some really good details, some very nice language, and I think those are really helpful things to do. It is challenging. It's a difficult thing to organize everything that we want to talk about in 15 seconds. That's a great challenge. TOEFL make it hard. They want to make it challenging for us. They want to see if we can create a coherent, a fluent, a well-structured answer in 15 seconds. That's very hard. That's why we need to practice. Yeah, without practice, no one is going to get this right. And a native English speaker wouldn't produce the right answers if they never practiced, because it is an artificial exercise. No one would go up to you in the street or at a party and say, okay, 15 seconds. That's hopefully not. I wouldn't want to meet that person. So it's very much an artificial. It's an exam, and it takes some practice.
I think it's good. Yeah. It's good to exchange a debate with someone fluent in English or something like this. That's
Absolutely,
why,
yeah.
yes, that's
And
why
I think
I
it,
prefer.
yeah, sorry to interrupt. I think it's a good example. I think a lot of these questions, I hope they're interesting questions, and of course the TOEFL people are trying to provide interesting and maybe provocative questions as well. You gave some really nice details, Hanan. I think you talked about the need for adventure, for new things. And you talked about inventing and being a pioneer. We have some great vocabulary here, and of course, later on in your answer, you give something really important, and I think I would encourage you with this question to use this right from the start to say, well, I like to do new things and take risks because I'm an architect, and because I want to be. We could use this expression. Oops, it's not appearing. Okay, we could talk about being at the cutting. There we go. At the cutting edge, meaning at the front, at the very newest of technology or methods or theories around the business that we're in. And I think architecture, that's a great example of an area where we are always looking to the future, always trying to make things better, always trying to come up with new and interesting and hopefully beautiful and efficient and well-styled ways of improving how we live. So
Yes.
I think there's and I could hear you were working really hard to come up with a number of ideas. And I think the more you practice with questions like this, the good practice is going to help. It's going to help the structure of your answer so that it is clearer. It's also going to help the fluency of your answer, of your language as well, so that it comes out in a way that's easier to follow. The vocabulary I thought was really good. Okay, it's just a question of joining those words together in a clear response, and that's really going to help. It's going to help your TOEFL score. It's also going to help the conversation that you have about interesting things like this with English speakers, and I know you would be well understood. With the vocabulary was great. Just need to improve that fluency, and we improve it simply by listening and by practicing as well, of course. So Hanan, thank you so much for that practice. What a great way to finish this class. That was a really solid example. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we are out of time. To finish just by putting my Facebook page in the chat box. Please follow me on Verbling. Follow me on Facebook as well. And every weekend I'll put my Verbling schedule on the Facebook page, so you can see every week, mostly on Sundays, I'll put what I'm doing the following week. So I hope you can join me for more TOEFL classes if you wanted to practice your IELTS speaking, if you want to practice speaking for job interviews as well. These are the sorts of things I'm doing here on Verbling. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great weekend. I really appreciate great answers today, great discussion. Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon, okay?
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.